All right, we are ready to get started with our Tai Chi class today. Thank you so much for joining me. Now, before we start, you don't have to know anything, you don't have to learn anything, you don't have to remember anything. All you have to do is follow along and go with the flow. I like to start with my feet together, arms up and out to the sides, opening my chest, opening my breath, opening my heart. Nice deep breath in. And then as I exhale, I let everything sink. Arms gently floating down. And then just as gently rising right back up. Like they're being lifted on a gentle wind. Slowly, easily. No effort at all. The wind is doing all the work. Beautiful, one more. And then this time, as your hands come down, you're gonna lift them up towards the corners and make a big hug. Bringing your hands in just until your fingertips almost touch, and then flip the palms over and slide right down the front of your body. We call this one sinking the chi. Nice and big inhales and exhales. Letting everything relax each time as you sink the chi, bringing it down into your core, all the way down your body, all the way sinking into your toes, connecting you to the earth below, helping you feel grounded. One more here. And then this time, as your hands come down by your legs, you're gonna take one step out. Which way? I don't care. And then float those hands right back up. And then let everything soften and relax down. Rising up, stretching up through the crown of your head. And then relaxing and melting down, softening your knees, softening your hips, softening your elbows. Like you're bobbing on a wave in the ocean. Sinking as the wave passes and then floating right back up for the next wave. Beautiful. One more here. And this time as your hands float up, you're gonna turn to make that big hug again, right about shoulder height, and then open out nice and wide. And you're gonna take one hand and scoop it under. The other hand scoops on top, like you're holding a ball or embracing the moon. Inhaling as your arms open, exhaling closed, other hand on bottom. Nice big loud sighs. Sighing super good for you. Helps your whole body relax. The louder the better. One more here. Perfect. And then on this next one, you're gonna pause in the middle holding the moon. You're just gonna shift and take that moon over to one side. When you get to the edge, roll the moon around in your hands, like you're hoping it rotates, and then go the other way. Nice and gently, letting your body sway side to side. Beautiful, just keep going. Gentle swaying side to side, cycle of the moon. Beautiful. Rotating the ball and then taking it the other direction. So when you get to the corner this time, we're gonna pause there. Take that top hand and just tuck it away. And then the bottom hand, holding the bottom half of the moon, you're just going to toss it right out the window and then circle right on back. Beautiful. Watching it sail out. Maybe it's going out the window over the rooftops, passing by your neighbors. Or if you're like me, you're probably still at the beach. So maybe it's sailing out over the water, reflecting. So you see two moons, one in the sky, one in the sea. Perfect. Now on this next one, we're going to bring that top hand back in. And as the bottom hand throws the moon, the top hand sinks straight down. Nice. Slowly cycling through, just like the moon, always coming back to center, always coming back to where we started. One more here. And then stay with me, the bottom hand is going to swing up and around, big circle, and you're going to embrace the moon on the other side. Tuck that top hand away, and then toss it right on out the window. Still breathing, still sighing. Inhaling as you toss. And then that big exhale as you circle back around. Bringing that top hand back in. Sinking it straight down. Almost like you have the moonrise and the moonset all in one motion. Lovely. One more here, and then we're going to do that big spiral arm again. That bottom hand swings up all the way around. This time as we catch the moon, we're going to tap one foot in, hide that top hand away, and then step out and right back into tossing that moon away. Okay, you can toss it away, it'll come back. Bringing that top hand back in. Really leaning and rocking forward and back. Shifting your weight from one side to the other, letting one foot become empty, and then the other. And then swinging that arm up, big spiral around. Bring that other foot in, take your time here. Capture the moon, tuck that top hand away, step out, and here we go on the other side. You might be wondering, how far am I supposed to lean? How far am I supposed to step? I don't care. Whatever works for you. It doesn't matter. I'm just glad you're here today. Bringing that top hand back in. Beautiful. All right, on this next one, we're going to do that big spiral. That bottom hand comes up, spirals all the way around, step in, stepping back out, tuck that top hand away, but this time, we're just going to bring it straight up over. So we're making a different kind of circle. The moon's rising straight up above us. Perfect. Almost like the moon is so bright tonight that you have to shade your eyes. Now this time when the top hand comes back in, it's just going to push straight forward. We call this one Fair Lady Works the Shuttle. I like to picture her doing it in moonlight, weaving, creating a beautiful fabric. Perfect. Last one here, and then we're going to do that big spiral again. So even bigger circles than you were making before. Coming around to the other side, stepping out, tuck the top hand away, circling up and around. You've got it. Bringing that top hand back in, pushing straight forward. You've got circles going 2 different directions in 2 different planes. Feels like it's a little complicated, but you know what? You're doing beautifully. And if you're not doing exactly the same as I'm doing, I don't care. It doesn't matter. You do what feels good for you. It doesn't have a right or wrong. It's just moving and flowing. On this next one, we're going to do that big spiral coming all the way around into the middle, no step in this time, and we're just going to go right back to cycling the moon. And gently. Beautiful. Now this time, we come over to the corner. Our moon's going to turn into a big hug, drag it right back to the center, open wide, and sink the chi. Beautiful. Arms coming up to the corners. Sinking, melting down, rooting into the ground, and then rising back up. Just like you do when you're standing in the waves, up to your shoulders. You root down into the ground as you hit the trough, and then rise back up to float with the passing wave. And then reconnect. Beautiful. From here, we're going to rise our hands straight up in front and open out nice and wide. And then one hand's going to drift slowly down and across. And then they're going to switch and go back the other way, like clouds across a moonlit sky. Floating gently in front of the moon. Sometimes making just that fuzz behind the clouds, but you can always tell it's still there. Beautiful. When you get to the next corner, your top hand is going to make a hook. Just stay there. Your bottom hand is going to continue. Pretty similar motion to what we did earlier. So maybe you're tossing the moon out the window again, watching it sail right across the sky. Perfect. On this next one, when you get to that point where it's just leaving your fingertips, you're going to bounce back and go the other direction. drawing the moon back in, back towards you. Perfect. And then releasing that hook, letting it follow. And then right back to hands wave like clouds. And when you get to the opposite corner, we're going to make a hook again. And then continue right on around that circle. Beautiful. Now on this next one, we're going to reverse direction. If you're at the beach, you might be watching the moon sink into the ocean. Or maybe you're up in the mountains, watching the moon sink down behind the mountain to rise again the next day. Releasing the hook, letting it follow. Hands waving like clouds, continuing their gentle float across the sky. When we get back to that first corner, we're going to make that hook again, but this time we're going to add a little step in and then a little step out. And then reversing direction. Coming down and around, just a little for now. Beautiful. Now on this next one, we're gonna stay right on that edge and we're gonna sink down a little, bend the knee. Come right back up and then down again. How far down? However far feels good for you. I don't care, as long as you're still smiling. Once you've found that good smile spot, you're gonna keep going all the way through, reaching a little lower down, maybe a little further out, trying to sink down like a snake creeping through the grass. Maybe it's a dolphin diving down in the water. Before coming right back up with those big, fantastic jumps. I just love watching them do that. Beautiful. One more here. And then releasing the hook, coming around, stepping back in. Take your time. When you get to the next corner, make that hook again. Little step in, little step out. Or maybe a big step, whatever feels good for you. On this next one, reversing direction. Just a little at first. Not going down too low. Now on this next one, we're going to find that spot. So check in with the knee. Find the spot that's good for you. As long as you're still smiling, I'm happy. And then wherever that is, Circle right on down around. Like the snake through the grass or the dolphin through the water. One more here. And release the hook. Stepping back in, right back to hands wave like clouds. And then the clouds turn into holding the moon. And you roll it around in your hands. And you're right back to cycle of the moon. And then when you reach the edge, the moon turns into a big hug and you drag it back to the middle. Coming out and then back in to sync the chi. Still relaxing and melting into it. And then we're going to finish off our practice today. Not on this one, on the next one. We're going right back into one final embrace the moon. So circling in, really rounding, hugging it in, opening back out. And then with the other hand on bottom. Letting your knees and your hips and your shoulders all round around. Perfect. And then bring those hands into the middle. Sync the chi one last time. Bring that foot back in. And I thank you so much for coming out to play today. I will see you on Wednesday.